Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome back to Buddhist Fellowship. This is the second time that we have the gathering here at BF after the CB period. Yeah. Now, before we start today's session, I would like to remind everyone who are gathered here on the guidelines that have been set up at BF premise. Yeah. So key important points, there are 10 of them. I'll just go through them quickly. The first one is that to ensure that everyone has done the safe entry to clock in and clock out. Yeah. And I believe everyone who have come here actually has done the first step. Second one, anybody feeling unwell today? Nope. Okay. So good. Everybody is feeling well. And if for whatever reason along the talk, if you don't feel well, do raise up your hand or reach out for help, okay? And then for the third one, all present must always wear a face mask and sanitize the hand, yeah, before entry. So throughout the sessions also, except the speaker, please put on your mask. And then the fourth one is that every member will keep 1 meter away from each other. Yeah. So once you have taken the seat, remember the seat, and then kindly do not change your seat or will mingle with others. Yeah. And when we are done with today's service, just leave the cushions at where they are. We will have our volunteers to disinfect them. Also, the fifth one is keep at least 2 meters away from the speaker. Yeah. And only the speaker will be allowed to unmask during the talk. This service will be kept to a minimum time, and members are discouraged from mingling with each other after the service. Right? So develop that mindfulness, awareness after the service. Let us proceed with the safe exit from BF. 7-1 chanting will be done by myself. And for brothers and sisters, please, we seek your kind cooperation not to do any loud chanting at where you are sitting at. And of course, talking loudly is also not encouraged. So unlike in the past where we have a communal eating, for today, because of this COVID-19 situation, there is no communal eating allowed. And selling or sharing of food is also not allowed. And we seek all of our cooperation to observe good hygiene at all times, right? And then during the exit, there is always already a marked sign to guide us to exit safely from BF. Okay, so I know quite a lengthy rules, but they are all necessary for us to keep this premise safe for everyone. All right, so thank you so much for coming today, this morning, despite the heavy rain outside. And we hope that today, in this small gathering here, for the Dhamma sharing by Brother Ee later, everyone can be benefited. So today, we will begin first with the opening puja before the start of the talk. I will invite everyone to come into Anjali position, and we begin with the preliminary homage to the Buddha. Let us now pay homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The next one, we will do a short offerings to the Buddha, and the offerings will involve 5 items that allows us to express our gratitude to the teachings. So please join me softly and wholeheartedly to read the verses together as we present this offering to the Buddha. Offering of light. Light symbolizes wisdom. May the light of Dhamma dispel the darkness of ignorance. Offering of incense. Incense symbolizes the fragrance of pure moral conduct. This reminds us to cultivate good conduct. Offering of water. Water symbolizes purity, clarity, and calmness. It reminds us to practice the Buddha's teachings, to cleanse one's mind which is full of desires, ill will, and delusion, to attain the state of purity. Offering of fruits. Fruits symbolize the ultimate fruit of enlightenment, which is our goal. They also remind us that all actions will have their effects. Offering of flowers. Flowers symbolize impermanence. The freshness, fragrance, and beauty of flowers are impermanent. This reminds us that we should all live in the present. Remembering thus, we should reduce our craving and attachment. Now let us proceed with the salutation to the Triple Gem. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. And we will now chant the verses for taking the 3 refuges. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Tatiyampi Sangham Saranang Gacchami. We will now chant the verses to observe the 5 precepts. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinnadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Kame Sumiccacara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Surameraya Majapamadatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Now we will chant the recollections of the Buddha. Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijja Charana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purissa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manusana Buddho Bhagavati. Let us recollect the sublime qualities of the Dhamma. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanaiko Pacatang Veditabo Vinyuhiti. Let us recollect the sublime qualities of Sangha. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujupatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyayapatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samicipatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidang Cattari Purisayugani Atta Purisapugala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyaketang Lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so this morning we are very fortunate to have Brother Ee Chee Koon here with us, who will share about a topic titled as I Know, Yet I Don't, a perspective from a new Buddhist. Before I pass the floor to Brother Ee, allow me to introduce him to all of us. So Brother Ee Chee Koon has been a Buddhist for 15 years, but only felt the affinity of the Buddha's teaching after embracing early Buddhism in the last 4 years. This has helped him gain clarity in the practice and how Dhamma is weaved into the very fabric of life, which needs to be understood at the experiential level. Since the late 1990s, he has been involved with various non-profit organizations. He was an NKF ambassador, a volunteer trainer with NTUC, and was a recipient of the Service to Education Award. Oh yeah, thank you Sister Eileen for the reminder. So, my apology, before we start with the talk, let us calm down the mind first with a short meditation guided by Ajahn Brahm through the video recording.
Maybe not. Okay, well, I'm going to do that, the sweeping meditation, which is a really nice meditation to get people who've never meditated before. It's going to be completely led by me. So you don't have to do a thing. So you're sitting down, cross-legged. Close your eyes. And just settle yourself into the meditation posture. And just make peace with everything which happens. If the young kid cries, it's wonderful. You know, that's what kids do. They have to understand and accept. Now as you're sitting there, can you feel your toes now? Are there any sensations there? If you can't connect with your toes, just wiggle them slightly. So you can pick up a feeling in your toes. And when you've picked up that feeling, when you have that connection between your mind and your toes, you can feel a sensation there, then send compassion and kindness along that connection. You're just warming and easing your toes with kindness until you start to feel the sensations become feelings of relaxation. You're deliberately relaxing your toes until you feel a soft tingling sensation to know your toes are in the maximum possible relaxed state. Then move your attention to your feet, the uppers, the soles, and all that's in between. Can you notice any feelings or sensations in your feet? Could be warm, pressure, tingling, itching, or whatever. Any sensation will do. That connects you to your feet. And then send kindness there. Send compassion. Wishing your feet to be comfortable. And you feel your feet relaxing, just like when you lay down in bed at night. The tension in the body eases as you sink into the soft mattress. Just imagine your feet sinking into the softest of pillows, relaxing, easing, coming to a state of comfort. Picking up the feeling and through compassion softening the feeling. And then move the attention to your lower legs. Not just the back muscles, the calves, but also the bones and the skin. Can you pick up a sensation in your lower legs? Whatever sensation it is enough to begin with. And from there, send kindness. May my lower legs be at peace, be in comfort. And your mindfulness should start becoming strong enough to notice the sensations change slightly, to become more comfortable, more at ease. As you're deliberately relaxing each part of the body one by one. And when your lower legs are relaxed, go to your knees. Many people these days have problems in their knees. Can you notice any sensation at all in the area around your knees? If you can't feel one, imagine one. And then when you have connected with your knees, send kindness there. May my knees be at peace. May they relax. And soon you get a feeling of relaxation. When any tightness is eased. And then you go to your thighs. Can you notice sensation in your thighs, including your bottom? The bottom feeling is hard to relax because it's pressed against the floor or the cushion or the chair. Nevertheless, you can pick up a feeling there. Send kindness. Send kindness to those sensations until you feel they relax a bit more. Relaxing the muscles and the bones and the skin in your thighs and bottom. Can you feel the sensations there? Be kind to them until all that part of your body feels at ease. You're relaxing to the max. Feel it all get so soft and comfortable. And then move your attention to your waist. And in your waist, it's not just the outside, it's the inside. With your colon. Many people have digestive problems these days from tension. Just imagine that whole part of your body, the waist, inside, the lower backbones. Can you notice sensations there? Deliberately send kindness, compassion. And feel those sensations relax until they become so peaceful, so comfortable. Even your colon, the digestive tract, imagine that just relaxing. It's not that hard when you pick up a sensation to relax it. You have feedback. You find what it takes by an intention of the mind to bring more peace, softness, ease to that part of the body. And that feedback teaches you how to relax. You deliberately relax the muscles in your colon, and around your waist, and even the bones in that part of the backbone. Now you sweep the attention further up your torso. You can get to the intestines, the higher part of the digestive tract. Or it may be your kidneys, your liver. If you have any problem in that area, imagine the sensation, pick up a feeling there. That means you have made contact. And when you've made contact with a part of the body in that area, send kindness there. If you have, say, kidney problem, feel any sensation in that area of the body. Connect, and with kindness, bring ease and comfort. So if everything expands and gets soft and easy. The combination of mindfulness and compassion is extremely powerful. You move the feelings up the body. Move them up to your chest area. Some people have problems with their heart, with their lungs, or with women, with their breasts, with cancers. Can you notice any sensation in that part of the body? Pick up any sensation that connects your mindfulness to that area of the body. And just add kindness. To relax, to ease, to soothe. You can imagine that hard place in your breast expanding, easing, softening, dissolving through kindness. You can experience a feeling getting softer, more relaxed, as the tension drains away. Even in your heart or your lungs, tension, tightness, draining. As you pick up the sensations there, and through compassion relax. You can go up to your shoulders now. Can you pick up a sensation in the area of your shoulders? Notice that sensation. Be aware of it. Connect and add compassion to relax those shoulders. Bring them ease and peace. As if again they were sinking into the softest of cushions. Until they feel so relaxed. Now, is any feelings and sensations in your arms or your hands? Just imagine both arms. Notice the sensations there. And be kind to them. So that they too relax. And you feel this experience of relaxation between your whole body, down from the shoulders, the arms, the torso, the bottom and the legs. As you deliberately relaxed every part. Now you go to your head. Start with the muscles in the face. Can you notice any sensations there? Once you've contacted those sensations with your mindfulness, along that line of communication, send your kindness. So you feel the muscles in your face relaxing, the tightness dissolving. You feel every muscle in the face relax, relax, relax. You feel it tingle, tingle with comfort and ease, the tingle of peace. Now you move your attention to a few inches behind your face, to your brain. It's hard to pick up real sensations from the brain, but just imagine them, with all of your anxieties and fears and memories and even difficulties right now. Imagine that brain as being tired. Connect with your brain and send kindness. It's as if that grey matter behind your eyes is now getting your TLC, your tender loving kindness. As you relax your brain, bring it to a state of ease and comfort. Through this little sweeping method, you've relaxed your whole body. At the same time, you've been mindful and kind. You're in the present moment, and you're probably not thinking very much. This is what we mean by meditation. How do you feel now? What's it like inside? This is what we mean by meditation. The beautiful peace of a kind, calm body and mind. Okay, so you can come out of your meditation now.
Okay, so I hope everyone had a good sitting and have a calm mind to listen to the Dhamma talk by Brother E. Just an announcement that this talk will be recorded and it will be released at the Buddhist Fellowship's Facebook and YouTube after 6 p.m. on today, where possible. Otherwise then there will be a next couple of days of lag. Alright, without further ado, I will let Brother E to please take the seat in front.
Any new Buddhists in this room? 1, 2, 3. Only one. The rest, old hand. So I talk very simple. Only two only. Maybe the rest very modest. Okay. Anyway, thank you for being here. Now, the idea for this topic actually came from a question raised by a sister in one of the talk last year, right, when I was delivering. She was actually asking how to practice in the face of adversity, in the face of day-to-day challenges. Now, I'm not too sure whether you have this issue or not. Maybe perhaps you don't have. So you're saying how to practice this, right? I mean, our job is so demanding, our families and all those things, a lot of mundane duties. So she found it very difficult to actually handle that. Now, because we are running out of time, so I only managed to give her a very brief answer. So I hope today I will be able to address this question more fully. Okay? Now, as a new Buddhist, right, we very quickly we learn about the Triple Gem. The Lakanas, 4 Noble Truths, 5 Aggregates, 6 Bases. We learn about 7 Bojjhangas. We learn about the 10 Meritorious Deeds. And we also learn the 12 links in the dependent originations, and we also learn the Dhamma terms and words. But when Shaf come to bush, right, we kind of forget all the lesson. We lash people, we throw our temples, we for the situation, and then the whole episode's over, right? We regret our behavior. Only there. Only 2 individuals, the rest no problem. So, but the point is the cycle keeps on repeating, right? How come we learn all those things, right? We read a lot, right? We have a lot of talks, right? We also go for discussion. But for some reason, put that into practice. So especially in the face of challenge, when good time, okay. Bad time, we forget. Am I right? Anybody can relate to this? So I'd like to address this. To give you a comprehensive framework, but to just share with you some pointers for your considerations. Okay? But just for a moment, just imagine The crisis is finally over. Can you imagine that? I don't know when, but just imagine that the crisis is finally over. We can go freely and socialize. We can go to our favorite restaurant, go to movies, we can go shopping centers, what have you. We can always also invite friends to our place. See, there's no restriction, right? Okay? Have a meal. There's no better time than now. It's still during season. Actually take a stroll in the park, walking on the boardwalk, experience the breeze on the boardwalk, of the fallen leaves, and then quickly on the boardwalk. Now perhaps you prefer the vibrancy of the city life, especially the nightlives, and the shopping mall, of course, at Orchard Road. And all this come with do you feel any bodily sensation with all the series of images I just presented? It's a given. We are with the senses. We have no choice but to just make context and respond and react. Now, some could be intense, some could be mild, some you like, some you don't like. Okay? Always evoke a sensation. Usually automatically respond. We react to it with craving. We crave for the present situation, and we also crave for the unpleasantness to go away. What I show you is very stark, no? Very stark. In daily life, this is now the word why always causes people to be very defensive. Because we need to justify our behavior. Notice when you use the word why, people will be very defensive. Why very automatically one. Things people didn't say. My birthday, he never wished me happy birthday. I'm very happy. And so much for no of the issue this idiot. Maybe they to make a genius, they make the place simple, right? Wondering why like that. Things people didn't do. Things people didn't do. So inconsiderate. Every time you use the room, right? Never off the aircon, never off the light. From here. Didn't do also one. Invite me there. With him. But no choice is already in the pantry. So you enter the pantry, you take whatever you need to take, and you quickly disappear. To cut out. You're still and let me still. For many on Facebook, praise, you're very happy. If you're not so happy. News. Am I right? Yes. Quite natural. Very natural one. Now this sutta is of life, the discourse on the flesh. So what is nutriments? Nutriments are things that we survive to keep us alive. Physical nutriments, body, alright, context nutriments for feeding, mental volition nutriments for craving, consciousness nutriments for the consciousness is more pertaining to rebirth consciousness. One body process. The first one is physical nutriments, the next three are mental nutriments. So we are consuming it all the time, you know. Every day we are consuming this all the time. Now, to bring our attention to this one here. Context. Anyway, you all don't meet much. So we're talking about lunch there. So you enjoy your lunch. The MP come knocking your doors, no? Crisis over, you go around trying to connect with people. So what happens to bump into your party, no? So do you think you can remember the lunch? I'm sure you can remember, all right? Because the emotional content very high. Let's assume that this is not an ordinary MP. It's not an ordinary MP. This MP happens to be our Prime Minister. What do you think? Wow, that's intense. Am I right? The Prime Minister visit you. Now, you've been a very nice person. You invite the Prime Minister to have lunch, and he accepted. Are you okay? Can you remember the lunch? Obviously, you can remember lunch very well. And instead of staying for 10 minutes, you stay for 2 hours. Had a long discussion with you about Singapore policies, right? And you give him the feedback. And before you leave your place, right, he actually give you his personal contact number so you can WhatsApp him. So later he can pass it to me. Now, 10 years has passed. Can you remember the lunch? 20 years passed. Can you remember the lunch? How about 30 years? I also can remember. Am I right? So you notice actually it is not the visceral facts it's not the cerebral fact, it's the visceral feeling that you remember. So that's the reason why emotional feelings wreck a lot of lives of people. No? So it's important for us to be aware of that, and it's something we need to actually understand. Okay? Now, certainly we experience good sensation, pleasant sensations, and unpleasant sensations, and we want more of the pleasant. That's the reason why we keep momentums, we take photographs, so that we relive the moment, can relive the events. Am I right? I'm sure you all go holiday, take photo, right? A lot, right? Tons of it, right? Yeah. And we recorded music, or you buy CD, buy MP3, whatever songs, and we want to actually listen again because nice music. So you realize that actually the whole world economy is actually directed at creating pleasant experience, sensation for you. The whole economy is directed creating that for you and wanting you to have more. And we are constantly being exposed, especially in today's context with social medias and internet, right? You're constantly being attacked, right? By weapon of mass distraction. Am I right? You're constantly being distracted by all sorts of advertisement. And these are the things you can relive quite easily. I'm sure a whole people, right, who actually spend $10,000 to buy a handbag. Am I right? Anybody got one of those handbags? 10,000 Hermes Birkin's bag. Right? The husband wasn't very happy about that. So decided to go out and buy himself a $30,000 watch to pacify his feeling inside. Frank Muller, Patek Philippe, what have you. I have a friend who bought a car too long ago, a Bentley for $680,000. According to him, it's value for money because this is a slightly older model. They give very deep discount. Otherwise, it will cost $700,000 to $800,000. So since it's value for money. So what do you think? $10,000 bag. Oh, it's good. This one can carry a lot of things. Can last a lifetime. Now, those bags are usually not meant to carry a lot of things. Am I right? It won't last a lifetime. Why? Because a few years later, it's out of fashion, and you want to get another $10,000 bag. Am I right? Yes. How about a $30,000 watch? Well, it's very accurate. It got a moon face some more. In fact, those watches are never accurate. You have to constantly rewind. Am I right? Constantly wind. And sometimes you got to check against your phone to make sure it's accurate. Now, if you have a phone, do you need a watch? Probably you don't need also. Am I right? Yeah. How about the $680,000 car? Well, it can last very long. Well, 10 years in Singapore. We can go very far. How far can it be? Singapore only 700 square kilometers there. 700 square kilometers, depending on high tide or low tide. If it's high tide, it's even smaller. How far can you go? Fortunately, it's Bentley. If it's Ferrari, it's even worse. Why? First, it's more expensive. Secondly, cannot go very fast. Cannot go very far also. Why cannot go very fast? Because those cars are meant to be driven slowly, making a lot of noise, so that people can admire, not the car, but the driver. Understand? So is it really practical? So if you need to carry things, right, maybe on the practical level, right, maybe NTUC plastic bag can already. So why do you need a $10,000 bag? Right. And then the watch, we got a phone, right? Everybody got a phone, right? You don't need a watch. Car, Singapore, very convenient, right? Because it's very small. Right? So it's never really the bag. It's the feeling behind the bag. It's never the watch, the feeling behind the watch. But it's never the car, it's the feeling behind the car. It's always the feeling. Am I right? We are going after the feeling. After the sensation is gone, right, we go for the next sensation. Right? If we are bored with one sensation, we go for the new one, and we go for more sensation. Every sensation reinforces your craving for more sensation. More means the past is not good enough. We want more, we want greater sensation. And it goes right around like a dog chasing its own tail. Am I right? Now, this Honey Ball Sutta, I think some of you may be familiar with that. Depending on eyes, form, eye consciousness arises. Same. Depending on ear, sound, ear consciousness arises. And so forth. And the contact of these trees, all right, the meeting of these trees is contact. So contact is not the physical contact we're talking about. All right, the meeting of these trees is contact. With contact is condition, there is feeling, and one feel, one perceive, one think about, one mentally proliferates. So whatever comes to your mind, your thoughts, you add a lot of colors, you add a lot of story, a lot of images, and you spin it. And it happens very naturally to every one of us, no? Very naturally, because we're still undergoing training, and you spin out of control. Remember your mind, whatever image that comes to your mind, the thoughts, you add context, you add colors, you add images, and you mentally proliferates. I remember when I first attended my first retreat, the Buddhists were telling us, see, seeing, hear, hearing. I was wondering, what is that? See, seeing, hear, hearing. So I couldn't understand that. Let's say you see a piece of chocolate, It's brown, it's square, full stop, see, seeing. But very often we see a piece of chocolate, it's brown, it's square. I wonder what's inside the chocolate, what kind of nuts they have. Is it bitter or sweet? Don't know what brand is that. If this brand not so nice, if that brand is better. But that brand of course more expensive because they actually take the cocoa from West Africa. I was told West Africa produce the best cocoa. What is that? Mental proliferation. All right. A pointer is a pointer. All right. Mic is a mic. I tell you this mic, the quality very poor. No? I've been telling Buddhist Fellowships for umpteen years I need to upgrade. They upgrade the wrong brand. They should consult me. Just simple thing that they cannot do. I don't know what's wrong with them. So rigid. What is that? Proliferation. All right. So we like to actually add a lot of stories or no? Take a look at this image. What's the cause of Lucy anger? What's the cause of this Lucy anger? Now Lucy is a very crappy, busy person. Linus happens to be a brother. All right. These are cherry-bound characters. So what do you think is the problem here? Anybody? Mask on still can talk lah. Now people say, oh, because the brothers actually scribbled something on the paper which he had written, and then, of course, spoiled the whole work. Now this could be done by Charlie Brown. Am I right? Linus happens to be there. He's innocent, but we always jump into conclusions. We always judge. All right? We don't investigate one. We jump to conclusion, we investigate. I remember years ago, I was actually listening to a book. I think it was a chicken soup book. I'm sure you're familiar with chicken soup. So there was this story, I think so, it's from Chicken Soup. There was this story about Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey, of course, you know, is the author of First Thing First and 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You know this author. And Stephen Covey was one day in a subway, all right? And in one of the stations, a man came up with children, a lot of children, 3, 4 of them. And they were making a lot of noise. Okay, they are very young, making a lot of noise. Now, Stephen Covey was deep in thought. Maybe he was thinking for his next book. He was a bit irritated. Right, these children making too much noise in the train. The train's supposed to be quiet, not a playground. So he couldn't stay anymore. He approached this gentleman. He said, sir, your children are making far too much noise. Can you quiet them down? So this gentleman looked at Stephen Covey and he said, I'm so sorry. I was just lost. We just came from the hospital. Their mother had just passed away. At that point in time, Stephen Covey felt like slapping himself. Keep your big mouth shut. So we like to actually judge people just on the surface, without investigating. He could have politely maybe checked with him and things like that. Suddenly this person is already in the daze. So from this simple episode, we can actually know that actually very often we would like to judge. We make assumptions. We jump into conclusions. This happens very often, especially human-to-human interactions. Now this is a sutta, Mahavigara Sutta. Now there's a section on perception where I just extract it up. For one perceive, what one perceives, one cognizes. This is what these states are conjoined or disjoined. It is impossible to separate each of these states from the other. He mentioned actually these are the things that are conjoined. The states are conjoined. They are not disjoined. You cannot separate them. All right? Whenever you have a contact feeling arises, you will perceive. And then you start to think about consciousness arises. They're all conjoined. You can't break them up. If you see a flower is not yellow. All right? Yellow is not flowers. Flower is the color, the fragrance, the petals, the stalks, the leaves, together, flowers. Bhikkhu Buddhi has a very good example, curry. Curry got 20 spices inside. You can pick one and say, this is curry. No. Curry is everything together. So all these here, the factors are conjoined, not disjoined. But what is the implication? They're all joined together, no. You have no choice one there. Well, it seems like we really have no choice. No one so much suffering, so much dukkha. The Western philosophers and psychologists have this thing called the cognitive triangle. Now remember thoughts. Thoughts, all right? Whatever your image appear in your mind, the image itself make context, feeling arises. And with feelings, you take action from feelings. With the actions you have taken, you got more thoughts, more feeling, and you go out of control. You go round and round like a merry-go-round. All right? And this process itself, I thought Buddha discovered it 2,000 years ago. Now the modern psychologists discovered this. So you go round and round like the wheel of life. Are you familiar with this? I'm sure you're an expert. Can I assume that? Just like I mentioned, don't assume. So I asked the question. You're okay with that? See this before? Okay. I try to use the mouse. Anyway, I'll still run through very briefly because this talk is not about this dependent originations. Now, starting from ignorant. Okay. First link. Ignorance is conditions. Volitional activity arises. Volitional activities as conditions. You have your rebirth consciousness. Rebirth consciousness conditions, you have Nama Rupa. Nama as condition, you have the sixth sense base. And you have the context. With context as condition, we just learned you have feeling. Feeling as conditions, you have craving. Craving conditions, you have clinging or attachment. Attachment and conditions, you have becoming. Becoming a condition, you have birth. And birth and conditions, you have decay and death. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. And the cycle go round and round and round. This is samsara. What is our objective? What is our objective? In our to get out of this samsaric existence. Am I right? Yeah. Two most important factors: ignorance, past cause that condition the present; craving, present cause that condition the futures. Of course, we want to raise ignorance to wisdom. There's a reason for the. Let's go back to the wheel of life. Now, the wheel of life can be discussed in different modes. You can discuss in terms of cause and effect. You can discuss in terms of traveling as well. You can discuss them in terms of the time period. Okay? Now, I'd like to discuss the time period. If you look at the inner core circle right here, inner core, past, future, present, the first two links relates to your past. There's nothing much you can do about it. The first two links. The last two links refers to your future. This one's something you can do about it. Futures, all right? But whatever you do is now, not future, now. All right? So the first two links is past. Last two links, futures. Now the center the center 8 link is the present life. The center 8 link is the present life. Now, the first 5 of the present life is the passive side of life. Passive side, which means you cannot do much about it. For example, here, you have the 6th sense base. You are born with the 6th sense, right? Unless you are born in Rupa, RAM or the Arupa RAM, then you have less sense. Then you go Arupa, you no more sense. Only mind. The 5 sense disappear. But we are born here. We have the 6th sense. Alright? We have the 6th sense door. So you can't help it. And because you have this 6th sense, you make contact and feeling arises. This is passive. So the feeling always arises. You can't do much about it. Alright? Now, take a look here. This is your active side of life. The active side of life. Now this one you help me out. Second noble truth. What is that? Second noble truth. The cause of suffering, origin of dukkha. Hey, what is that? Your tanha, your craving. Alright, kama tanha. You learn about that. Bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. Threefold. Now here, this is your tanha. Contact. Between contact and your craving. Now remember that is the cause. Between your contact and your craving, what is that? It's a feeling. Now can we strike this link to break the change? Okay, can we strike this link to break the change? Now any of the link, if it's broken, any of this link is broken, the change is broken. So can we strike this link to break the chain? Not much respond. Cannot. Because we don't want to get here, no? Feeling there will be one, but can we do something here? Can we strike this link to break the change? Let's take a look. Now we experience sensation all the time. Desire for pleasant, aversion to unpleasant. Seeking pleasure, avoiding pain. Towards motivation, always motivation. They are the same thing. Two sides of the same coin. They are the same thing. Two sides of the same coin. But this is what Buddha discovered 2,600 years ago. Whenever there's sensation, whenever there's feeling, we respond not to the external object, we respond to our feeling, to our sensation. We respond to our feeling, to our sensation, not the object. You notice you have the same event, different person has different outcome on it. You agree with me? No? I met with 2 accidents before. Of course, I met more than 2. But these 2 quite similar accidents. Alright? But the outcome very different. One was with the Porsche. That one I didn't hit him. But he accused me for hitting his car. He came out and scolded me. And I apologized to him. Then I checked his car, no damage. He said, maybe he hit my tire. I said, impossible to hit your tire without hitting your car. Second incident, I hit somebody bumpers at the back because the car was already stopped, but I couldn't stop in time, hit it. The German came out, first thing he asked me, are you okay? Now this uncle is not sarcastic though, out of concern. I was surprised. Alright? My brain was fried for a moment. How come this driver so nice? Are you okay? Then we exchanged telephone numbers, then I said, take care. Wow, that's nice. Almost similar incident, but different outcome. I'm sure they experience sensation quite similar, right? Because it caused them inconvenience. In fact, the first case is so inconvenient because there's no damage. Second case got inconvenient because he got to send the car to the garage and I had to pay for it. So you notice you don't react to the external events or objects, you react to the sensation you feel in the body. So that is a big clue. So do we have a choice? Now we have a choice. We always react. Without training, you always react. Very automatic. Very automatic. Sometimes we suppress. How this happen about, let's say for example, you have an abusive spouse. Of course you don't have that, but in case you have, or somebody else have, you notice something you cannot express, you got to control, suppress your feeling and thoughts. Or maybe you have a difficult boss who don't take feedback, who don't like you to make comments as well. Alright? Because he seems to know everything. So what happened? Even your brilliant idea, you have to suppress it. Right, so sometimes we do that. Between these two extremes, you can observe, watch. You can observe, watch. Don't participate, watch. Can watch. You have this option to watch, right? Now, choice is a double-edged sword. A man given a choice but don't exercise a choice is like a man with no choice. Now, we are making contact all the times. Meeting of these three is context. I'm sure you know that. Huh? Meeting of the three is context. Okay? Vision, eye consciousness, contact. Vision of three is contact. We contact feeling automatically appear. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. We react most of the time. Like, dislike, rooted in greed and hatreds. Both underlying it are all delusion, ignorance, and craving arises. Came about. Now here feelings, craving. Can we work in the area here? Can we? We just gone through that. We watch. We observe. Are you okay with that? So we want to watch. Watch can already, man. Now, of course, to watch, you need to develop mindfulness. All right? And the best way to develop mindfulness is meditation, which is part of work. Now, somebody start thinking, oh no, he's talking about mindfulness. Not again. Not meditation. I already attended a lot of lessons. I'm quite good already. Now, anyway, I'm not talking about mindfulness today. I'm not talking about meditation because I'm sure you have attended many lessons here in Buddhist Fellowship. Huh? Am I right? Yes, because I attended myself here. But what I like to discuss is the resistance. Maybe you're okay. See, anybody problem meditating one? 1, 2, 3. No problem. Okay, well, every day I meditate one. No problem. You got problem, I can help. But just in case you have a problem, but you don't want to put a hand because you don't want out. I can understand. Now, it did not have to be meditations. Sometimes there are certain things we don't like to do. Right? Like doing admin work. Very tedious. Doing the laundry. Cleaning the dishes. Cleaning the floor. Sometimes we don't like to do. You all have no problem with it. Oh, you're solid. You all damn solid. So this resistance is applicable to everything. Right? Now the fact that we receive is underlying there are two possibilities. There could be more, but there are two main ones. That's something we don't like. That's something we fear. You think about it. Alright? If you are hesitating to do certain thing, there is this dislike or there is this fear. I don't know what is this fear from. There is this dislike or there is this fear. Okay? You notice actually all this comes from your mind. Your mind tells you story, proliferation, why you shouldn't be sitting. Why you shouldn't be sitting? Because I'm tired. You justify. All right? I work the whole day. I need to rest. I work the whole day. I need some entertainment, like watching YouTube video. All right? Meditation tomorrow can do what? I work so hard. I need to be rewarded. So you give a lot of justification. Mind proliferates. And of course, this is something to do with monkey mind. And they call it the monkey mind because it's like monkey swinging from branch to branch. So our mind, we swing from thoughts to thoughts. All right? Now let's try to get close to the mind. Let's try to get close to the mind. Now I mentioned the crisis finally over. So you decided to book, all right, a flight to your holiday destination. All right, you want to take a short trip because we've been cooped up in Singapore too long already. Quite unhealthy according to the psychologists. So you'd like to actually go for a short trip, de-stress, book a flight. And halfway journey to the destinations, the pilots, for some unknown reason, they decided to take a cruise. And you got stranded in a deserted island all by yourself. You're stranded in a deserted island. All by yourself. Okay? What can you do? If you're stranded, what would you do? I know you are with the mask. Can you just try to help by it? What would you do? Seriously, what would you do? Relax. Hypothetically, if that's happened to you, what would you do? Just shout out. Remove your mask and shout out. Say, put it back. Fire. Okay, somebody say about fire. Water. What else? Sorry? Survive. Food, that kind of thing. SOS, get attention. Right? Any more? I'm sure you can think a lot more, but generally you'll get it right, generally. Salvage from wreckage, if they're still around, because you could find something to survive on. Find fresh water, somebody mentioned that. Build shelters, start a fire, somebody mentioned that. Find food, all right? And of course, get attention. Get attention. Now, I don't know how you all know, because I searched the internet to get the answer. But I don't know how you all know. Have you all been stranded before? No, but how come you all know? How you know? I read storybook, Robinson Crusoe. Sweet family, primary school, primary education, very useful. This is what I find. I don't know about you, this is my personal experience. In primary school, I learned a lot, but I study very little. In university, I study a lot. I learned hardly anything. So primary school education is extremely good. All right? So you learn a lot primary school. So you know how to survive because of primary school education. Now, how you come to know is what we call cognitive fusion. You have never been there, no? You have never been in a deserted island all by yourself. But you can imagine all the situation and scenario and develop solution as if they are real. We have never been to Mars, right? We can send a rover to Mars. We imagine, man. Response to our thoughts, feeling, and mental images as if they are real, and we solve problems. See what it is? So this problem solving came about. We compare, contrast, evaluate, and plan. Problem solving become the way of life. And especially in Singapore, we are always number one. Everything number one. We must be ahead one, otherwise we cannot survive. Is it correct? So we must be way, way ahead. We are a lot of people, so we always forward thinking one. We always plan ahead one. Am I right? We start to plan already, even though we have not reached the level. Right? And in fact, overseas, they are very impressed our plan to shut up Singapore. No? Because in a couple of decades, probably how Singapore disappear. Right? So you are forward planning, no? And we are paying a lot of money to do that. No? All right? I'm sure you know about that. So we are always problem solving. But having this type of approach has a problem, has a dark side. Constantly seeking to solve problems become an issue because we are stuck to our thoughts. We cannot be separated from our thoughts. No? And we act as if our thoughts, every thoughts are true. Our thoughts are real, may not be true, but we think it's factual, it's real, it's true. Thinking dominates our behavior. That's the reason why we have this monkey mind, mental chatter. Now, everybody actually has monkey mind, but I think Singaporeans have monkey mind is probably more serious. Because we are always very anxious, forward-looking. We have the pressure cooker, they say. We lose touch with the world of direct experience. Somehow we don't know how to live the present moment. Somebody mentioned that we are supposed to live the present moment, we're supposed to let go. How to let go? Is it practical or not? Live the present moment. Fast-paced society like Singapore. All right. In fact, many of the overseas people think that our education system is not very good. Because we drill people so much, they don't have their childhood. So we lost the world of direct experience. In the West, likewise, they have lost the world of direct experience. This is the reason why in the West, perhaps they're more adventurous, they create all sorts of funny sports. Like bungee jumping, like skydiving, like soloing. Soloing, you know what is soloing? Rock climbing without rope. Rock climbing without rope. That one very intense. In fact, there's a documentary, award-winning documentary. Right? I was impressed. The guy climbed up with no rope. Now, why do you think they invent all this sort of stuff? Jump out of plane. You just ask yourself, imagine you jump out of plane. You say, oh gosh, I forgot to send email. Is it possible? No, you're always in the moment, and that is the reason why they feel so good. And these people are creating all this sensation because they want to be in the present moment, because present moment is so nice. But do you need to jump out of plane? Do you need to do bungee jumping? Roller coaster? When I was young, I loved roller coaster. No? Every other theme park, I'm the one there. All my relatives and friends all wait for me. Because you feel so good in the present moment. In fact, right now they create a new sport. You don't jump out of plane first. You throw your parachute first. Then you jump out of plane, and then what? You dive towards your parachute, and then you wear it. Before you touch ground, you pull the cord. That one show in the present moment. Oh gosh, I forget my email. Impossible. Now, do you need that kind of sports to be in the present moment? Don't need. Because that one don't know can survive. I mean, you put the cord, too late. Cognition triangle. Problem is not thoughts themselves, but the habitual thinkings without being aware they were thinking. We're thinking all the time. That's why it's good to meditate, because only when you meditate you stop thinking. So that's why I make a commitment to meditate, because the body needs to exercise, keep fit. The mind needs to stop thinking to keep fit. So I thought, hey, I need to do that. Right? So here this thought. Remember, whatever comes to your mind, your image, feeling appears automatically. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutrals, and actions. And then go round and round again. Give you some simple examples so that you can relate better. Take a look at this image. This person here is trying to date this girl called Kate. Hi Kate, it's been exactly 2 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes and 52 seconds here I got their number. Just giving you a call before you lose interest in about 8 seconds. Why? Why you hesitate? Fear of rejection. Is it true? Is it real? Well, you believe it to be true. That's why you wait until the 8 second, last 8 seconds, otherwise you lose interest. Maybe kid's waiting first day already. But he imagined it. Can you understand? This one maybe you can relate better. Anybody do sales? Got to do cold one? Or customer service, got to call customer one? Anybody? Cold calling made me nervous. Before calling, I panic, cold sweat already. Am I right? But is it true? The customer may be very nice. Customer waiting for you, or waiting for you to call. But you imagine, right? What if the customer slammed the phone? Wow. And I feel hurt the whole day, very moody. You imagine, has it happened? Not yet. It happened in your mind and you're fused to it. I just talk about fusion, right? You're fused to it already. Maybe this one you cannot understand. This one maybe you can understand. You watch a horror movie. After watching the horror movie, dare not go toilet. Dare not stay alone in the room. Some people dare not stay alone in the office. Hey, you want to go back? I better go with you. Cannot work overtime. You cannot. Yesterday watch horror movie. But office suddenly got spooky stuff. Got spirit lurking in the toilets. They think it's real. It's true. This is from newspaper. Few years ago, a python spotted in the toilet in Upper Thomson shop house on 2 separate occasions. There's this video in Channel News, you can watch one. So the head just pop up above the water and then hide and then pop up again. Few years ago, you have this thing. This happened in Eunos, no? Happened in Eunos. See the first word. Can you see the first word? The first word is big. Big python, surprise housewife in the loop. She got bitten, on the thigh. You notice her hand was doing this? The hand was doing this. This is the size of the snake. Can you imagine how big? Not 3 meters, no, inside a toilet bowl. Last year also there's one news, but the snakes is not inside the bowl, it's on top of the ceiling. So that's why I don't show you, because it's not in the bowl. This is in Straits Times, but this happened in Malaysia, but I put there for impact. Python. So later when you go toilets, what will you be looking for? You believe it's true? I think better check in case got snake. So you notice, you're fused again. So later if you go toilets, right, and we hear the chanting, right, metta chanting, right, it's okay, we can understand. Say metta. It's okay, we can understand. Now there is this famous studies by Harvard's Wandering Minds, Not a Happy Mind, by Daniel Gilbert. The student is Matt Killingworth, all right? That was his thesis. They get 15,000 participants across 80 countries, asked 3 questions time, random time in a day. 3 questions. And there is this iPhone app. And they ask these 3 questions, random time. What are you doing right now? You just indicate. And you don't even have to write, you can select one. Where is my mind right now? Are you focusing on the things you're doing or somewhere else? Number 3, at this very moment, how happy or unhappy you are. And there's a slider, no? There's a slider here, you just slide, no? All right? So it's very simple applications. And they collect few 100,000 data points. And this is what they discover, no? 80 countries, it's not from Singapore, 80 countries. Now, when you are focused on the present, you're very happy, no? Your mind wonder, you're less happy, no? In fact, your happiness dropped a lot, the index. Now, take a look at this bullet point here. True for every activity, even the least enjoyable, no? Even the least enjoyable. You think about what are the things you have been postponing one. Least enjoyable one. Come on. I don't know what it is. Right? Maybe washing your car, like me, like that. I don't like wash car. Right? Maybe it's doing some data entry. Right? Maybe it's some, I don't know, some admin stuff you have to do. Maybe clear your store, whatever it is. All right? Least enjoyable activity. You are also happy doing it. Can you see how powerful? No? If your mind is present in the least enjoyable activity, you are quite happy there. This is our daily mind. Unable to focus, fully experience each moment. Stressed, rarely at ease one. Especially Singaporean. Rarely at ease. Why? Because Singapore too efficient, so we lose patience. Maybe that's the downside of being efficient. All right? You notice we complain a lot when we travel overseas. Except for people here, you're very nice. We can understand. We send them wishes. It's okay. We wait. Mind wander about 50% of the time, no? Thinking about something not related to what we are doing, right? So 50% of the time, your mind not here, no. When I'm talking to you, right, your mind not here, no. Again, you're slightly better than natural average. Maybe 30% of mind not here, no. Maybe you went to Mars there. When I flash this slide, I suddenly land on Earth in Buddhist Fellowship. Wandering minds, unhappy minds tend to confuse thoughts with facts. We believe our thoughts a lot. See thoughts not as we are. When thought arises, we build upon it. Proliferation, we spin, add color, add context. Tend to chase thoughts, especially the negative one. Believe in our thoughts, must be real, come from us, right? And must be true also, right? Our version always true one. These experience intense influence further thoughts, behaviors, and action, and it go round and round again. Let's come back to this. I showed this earlier. Between feeling and craving, what can we do? We observe. Can we not observe? All right, we observe. Be here now. Be the present moment. Be the present moment. But somehow, when you cross our leg and close our eyes, we can be in the present moment. While we open our eyes only, don't know what is present moment. Do we need bungee jumping again? Skydiving? What do you think? How to be the present moment? That was the question asked there. We're in the present moment, we will close our eyes and cross our leg. When you open your eyes, what is present moment? How to get back to present moment? Close your eye again, eh? Is it practical? Very dangerous, no? Especially you drive. Now, one of the easiest way to go to the present moment, go back to your five senses. Because your mind wander, your senses will never run away. Your senses don't run away, man. Your mind run away, wander off, but not your senses. Whatever you see right now. You cannot see the past, you cannot see the futures. But your mind can see the futures, can see the past, not your physical eye. Whatever you smell is present, not past, not future. Whatever you taste must be present. Now, for practical reason, it may not be very good to actually use the other senses, I think, okay? Don't use your eyes to be in the present moment. Why I say this? Let's say assuming you have a bit of difficult discussion with your boss. And your boss is very difficult to get along now, And you say, get back to your senses. Okay. Brother Ee say, get back to your senses. I use my eye. Keep looking at your boss. Wow, inside, few words. Try the ear. You're listening to your boss again. Then give words some more. So I think it would be good if you can go back to your body. If you are standing, feel the pressures of your feet on the floor. If you are seated, the butt on the chair. Cannot run away one. You're straight away in the present one. Your feet cannot run away, your butt cannot run away one. If you're holding a pen, feel the pressure of a pen in your hand. Feel it. It's there. I used to carry a stone in my pocket. I used to carry a stone to remind me to be present. But I decided not to carry the stone now. I now carry a pot, a seed, basically a very big seed. Because I was carrying this stone and the alarm sound off at the airport, at Jakarta airport. And the officer looked at me, search, then come up, one batu inside. You see a weapon? So I said, sorry, this one I keep only. He returned back the batu to me, and he laughed. So from that onward, I didn't know until that day that the batu metal detectors would detect one. So I changed it, just to constantly remind you to be in the present. So if you are a pen, if you are a ring, remind yourself, because your body cannot run away, straight away in the present. Straight away, you are in the present. Okay? So if you are washing your dishes, right? If you are aging parents, you need to take care of. If you are doing massage for them, washing their hair, feel the sensation of your hand on the scalp. Feel the sensation. Your mind will drumble off. If your mind wander off, you will complain one. Why I have to do this today? Why I have to do it again? How long is it going to take? You will complain. If you notice your mind constantly complaining, your mind is running off already. Because in the present moment, there is no problem. The problem is in the future, not now. Now got no problem. So how you know whether you're in the present? Because when you're present, it's very calm and very peaceful. There is this inner stillness. And it's so wonderful. Years ago, when I watched television, right, I always laugh, whenever there's this advertisement about soap powder, and detergent. How can a housewife be so happy doing household chore? How can it be? It's impossible. Marketers are liars. Make it's impossible. Years later, I realized I was wrong. Because if you're in the moment, washing dish is therapeutic. Sweeping the floor, cleaning the floor, doing your laundry is therapeutic. It's so peaceful. Have you experienced that already? No, try it today. Try something you don't like to do. Be present in the moment. Focus on sensation. Let's say you don't like to do certain things like maybe pack your storeroom. Feel the sensation of the touch, touch, touch. Don't let your mind wander. Very peaceful one. You won't complain one. And when you finish, right, this is what the psychologists and the scientists will say. Your hormones, the neurotransmitter will fire off. Your happy drugs, the endorphin. The endorphin and the serotonin. All these fire off. This is a happy drug. It makes you feel very good. And you want to do more. Right? You volunteer clean toilets one. BF, I volunteer. Nobody? Yes, because it's therapeutic. Yes. When you notice you pass your day much faster, you complain less. Everybody has problem. We can't help it. But if you're in the present moment, less complain. You kind of accept it and you find it very peaceful. All right, so be here now. Now, when you experience challenges, situations, you can actually try to establish new behaviors. You can actually try these 3 steps. First, disidentify your thoughts and feelings. Hopefully, just now I give through simple images. Hopefully, you may not understand the words, but I hope you can remember the images. Watching horror movie, the snake in the toilet bowl, that kind of thing. You notice your thoughts are not true, but you believe it's true. So when you have a situation, disidentify your thoughts and feelings. Separate it. Give a space. Now, one of the good ways of giving a space is to label. I know I have a thoughts of frustration. You label it, you make a distance. Now remember, it may not be true one. We always think it's true because it comes from us. So first, disidentify, accept what has happened. Situation happens, you cannot undo. Important is to move forward. If let's say, for example, you're the one who actually threw temper, you cannot undo it's in the past already. But in the present, you stop it. Focus on solving problem, not blaming people. Focus on solving the problem, not the problem. Focus on solving the problem. It brings you out. 3, stay in the present moment. Be present with the body. Remember again, use something, all right? Maybe a stone, which I mentioned, the pressure of the pen in your hand. Present moment. Once you're present moment, you notice you cut down a lot of proliferation. Can you understand that? You cut down proliferation. Now you think about it. What we have is only present moment. What we have really is only present moment. What we have is only present moment. Now, if you do your best, all right, in the present moment, you create the best possibility for your future. Am I right? If whatever you're doing right now, 100% focus, you create the best possible future for yourself. Even the problem itself appears to be smaller. Clear this? If you do the best in the present moment, you create the best possible future for yourself. Clear with this? All right, so you can do this 3 step. Now remember, you need practice because habit die hard. This is a new habit. You need to form new patterns. You need to feel new patterns. Now when this becomes second nature, it's so much easier. You notice you're such a nice person. All right, even situation happen, right? You know you don't blame. Important is solve the problems. You tell people it's okay. Somebody cut in your lane, send him wishes. Maybe he's rushing for an emergency meeting, whatever, I don't know. All right, people sometimes are caught in that kind of situation. Maybe he's a doctor, so he need to go to A&E. I don't know. All right, or maybe he needs to somebody who is very sick. We do not know. All right, give people the benefit. Clear with that? Okay. Now we have a test. To make sure that you are awake just now. Anyway, this is purposely planted. There's no test. This is just a reminder. When contact feeling arises. Some people say, please don't call me. Right? Some people say, it's okay. My Dhamma knowledge very rich. I read a lot. I'm born ready. Right? So some people are cool like a cucumber. Anybody like this? Cool like a cucumber. Right? So notice we have different sensations. So this is placed there just to remind you. But I may need help with this. Is it okay? Can y'all be nice? Can help now? Fill in the blanks can not? Not much respond, seriously. Okay, now for noble truth. First noble truth, what's that? Dukkha, suffering. Second noble truth, the cause, the origin. Third noble truth, cessation, absolutely right. And the fourth, the path. All right. So your path is flying color. Now the Dhamma. Now the core thing, we condense it to the core Dhamma. The first one, dukkha. The 5 aggregates. Here, aggregates. All right. What about the second one? Craving, absolutely right. And the third one, of course, everybody knows, Nibbana. All right. And the last one is your Noble Eightfold Path. So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed? Oh, we're supposed to memorize. Take picture, memorize. No, what are we supposed to do? 5 aggregate. What are we supposed to do? So fully understand. Craving, we will abandon it. Nibbana, we realize, and Noble Eightfold Paths develop. So to put it in context, I covered today's is here. The 5 aggregates in craving, and I mentioned quite a lot feeling, because it's very real, right? We experience daily basis, every moment. Neutral feeling is also a feeling. You got to understand. No? So 5 aggregates, fully understand. And I mentioned conjoint, perception. We judge, right? Consciousness arises. These are what? Your aggregate. The bundle of things we make of us. The bundle of things. Now it's a graduated path. Buddhism is a graduated path. It's like the continental shelf, progression. It just slopes gently away and it falls off. Different people are at different stage. Don't need to compare. Some people just started up. Some people prepare to take scholarship already. Anybody here ready to take scholarship? You know what scholarship I'm talking about? You don't know. Food provided, lodging provided, retirement plan, everything taken care of. Live a life of homelessness, down the road one. Anybody ready to take scholarship one? Hey, this is not unusual. No. 2 years ago, one of my friends, right, father, really take up the scholarship. Only 2 years, 3 years ago. He is now in party line. Indonesian Chinese. Right? Oh, I say, wonderful. Right? Yeah, it's, with wives, children, live a life of homelessness. Maybe you're about there already. I see people nodding their head. But you're not there, never mind. It's always work in progress. Remember that, it's always work in progress. Okay? Now, while you're working there, use the magic of yet. My meditation is not good yet, but I'm getting better. We are not there yet, but we are getting there. Is it okay? Use your magic of yet. Now, along the way, there'll be up and downs, but remember, all right, we must have the faith. Final notes, external study, internal study. External study is what we are doing right now. Talks, discussion, books, external study. Internal study, our experiences through our sense door. Our response, wholesome, unwholesome. Our mental state. All right. Now the whole practice is here. Here, not out there, it's here. Your body, speech, and mind, all here, not out there. Don't look out there, look here. Your internal study. Okay with this, So a lot of people try to look out. No, look in. It's here, right here. All right? Now, Ajahn Chah actually has a simile. Ajahn Chah has a simile. He actually mentions like a ladle soaked in the soup, a pot of soup. Ladle soaked in a pot of soup, soaked the whole day, will never experience the flavor of the soup. A person who do all the reading, right, attend a lot of programs and all those things, if don't practice, will never experience the taste of freedom. So you need that practice to experience the taste of freedom. And what simple thing you can do right now is this. Be here now. If you don't know how to be here now, feel the sensation of your touch. This one cannot run one. The mind can run, here cannot run. Be here now. Clear this? Okay? Now I know the COVID-19 situations have affected a lot of people. I'm not too sure about your situation, so I hope everything is well with you. Now with a lot of people now working from home, all right? Especially with internet, social media, all those things, it's actually spawned a list of cool sounding professions. Cool sounding professions. Like what? Big data architect. Never heard before, don't know what's that. All right. Ethical computer hacker. Got a lot of hacking right now, but I got ethical one. Ethical computer hacker. Cyber security specialist. Anybody got this type of cool sounding profession one? Have or not? Anybody headhunter? Now they change. Not headhunter, not recruiter, no. Talent aggregator. Cool sounding one. Anybody? My office not very big. Almost everyone is a CEO, no, seriously. Really, especially my Jakarta office. Almost everyone is a CEO. Customer experienced officer. Not chief executive. You all don't have a cool sounding that kind of profession. Right? You all do very, very mundane thing. You pao ka liao, do all the general thing. And the boss has no choice but to call you general manager. All right. High flyer executive. Now, whatever the profession you have, may I suggest you take up another profession. Now, this profession pay you no salary. All right, no bonus. Don't think about gratuity. You work non-stop. Not what do you call that? 996. Not 996. It's 24/7. Is it okay? And you take up this profession. Pay no salary. Work 24/7. This profession is called presentologist. Is it okay? Cool sounding. So you tell your boss, can I add something behind? My destination, besides CEO, presentologist. Is it okay? Be present. Be present. Because we only have now. Am I right? We only have now. Yesterday is former now, tomorrow is future now, right now is the present now. We only and always have now. Is it correct now? Now, where you are is not important. Where you are heading is important. Where you are is not important. Where you choose to end is important. You cannot go back for a new beginning, but you can act now for a new ending. Now, I hope my simple sharing will be able to actually give you some tips, some pointers, so that you become more cool, calm, and collected, and you achieve all this without project. Is it okay? Thank you so much. Are we supposed to have Q&A? I ask questions and they give answer.
Okay. All right, so now is the Q&A session. Anybody has question, please do raise up your hands. I will come to you and then I will assist by holding the mic on your behalf.
The old hand don't need. We'll do some simple lesson.
Anybody? Okay.
I have a question on the observe.
Observe, yes.
For example, there's a cup of water.
Yeah.
It's half. Yeah. But somebody say it's half, but somebody half full.
Yes.
And some say half empty.
Yeah.
I think this is very critical. It's a reflection of our original kind of thinking.
Yeah.
So I think when we come to observe, probably we have to add in a little bit more. I call it positive calm mindset. If we have a positive mindset, and will give us a better kind of thinking.
Yeah.
So please comment.
Okay, it's a comment. Okay. Now, what happened was that is in our mundane life, I think it's important to be positive. We look at the positive side. When I mentioned about observe, right? If you actually do meditation, the whole idea is not to be present. That's it. Is that our role? No. Because when you're in the present moment, let's say you're doing meditation, there are actually things to do. Eventually, you're supposed to understand. Let's, for example, we say see, seeing, hear, hearing. What exactly is that? The whole idea of see, seeing is trying to actually prevent proliferations. We're not interested in the content. We're interested in the structure. And there are these three things eventually you've got to see in everything, because this is the phenomenon. What is these three things? Anicca, dukkha, anatta. These three structure. We are not interested in the content. Content is mundane. Right? It's the content. But eventually you must be able to see these three characteristics in any phenomenon. So just now you give the energy of the example of a cup. Yes, it's always good to be positive. Yes, good. We lead our mundane life. We still our mundane duty. Right? We want to go beyond that. We want to go beyond that because ultimately it's impermanent. The glass eventually will be broken. The water eventually will be evaporated. This is what I'm trying to say. It's impermanent. Right? We don't attach to it, because that causes suffering. And we want to actually realize there is no I, eventually, no mind, not myself. Okay with that? But thank you for your comment. Anybody else? Now, I hope that actually this simple sharing itself, some of the things you probably know, but certain things may strike you like, I didn't know this. And that's good enough. All right, and then you put it to
You say neutral is also a feeling.
yes.
So when we do meditation, we watch. Aren't we neutral? We don't react.
Eventually, you come to a stage by you probably lost your senses, no? Right? You lost your senses. The feeling is aggregate. And eventually, you come to a stage by this is not there, only consciousness. And you go further, and that's the reason why you have this stage whereby I just mentioned for the sake of it. It's like if you come to a very deep absorption, I'm not saying necessary to do that. Right? You notice there's something called non-perception. It's neither perception or non-perception. So you don't even perceive anymore. Now this is something you can't think of. A state where there's no consciousness. What is that like? Now because this is something we have not experienced ourselves, it's very difficult to discuss certain concepts like Dhamma, because Dhamma is not something sensual. No? So when you come to a stage where you notice all these things begin to drop off. And I think Achan Brahm did mention, eventually one fine day it will drop off. Even you don't get it in meditation. And where is one fine day? When you're about to leave this existence. Your senses shut down. Right? So actually what was that? The whole idea is to observe. You observe to a stage where all this is not there. And of course we are not interested in this. We're interested in using the stillness. Alright, to gain insight. And that's the whole objective, son. Use it as a tool. Okay? So that regular practice is important for us to realize. That's why I mentioned it's experiential. It's not for a textbook. So we need to actually experience it. And Ajahn Chah always said, just sit. Sit. Cannot sit more. I think Ajahn K this mentioned, sit until here, break. So bitter. So the whole idea is actually what happened was that when you experience that, then you realize, hey, there's a different kind of happiness. We don't need to do bungee jumping anymore. If this is what you've been doing to get to the present moment, we don't need skydiving, we don't need rock climbing. You feel that it's different consciousness. Right? So remember, eventually this feeling will go away. Your neutral feelings. Even equanimity is a feeling. You need to abandon it at one stage. Clear with this? Right? Hope that answered that question. So remember, eventually all these aggregate will have to go away. No? Okay? And feeling is one of them. Okay? Hope I answered that your questions. Any other questions?
Any
No more?
further question?
No more comments? Any comments? Or you maybe got your insight, maybe you can share your insight. Any aha moment kind of thing? Now I understand why 20 years later I still can remember the lunch. Okay. Why I always feel so or thought, I always imagine things, I always anxious. In our daily life we actually meet toxic people, right? I don't know, maybe some of your family members are toxic around people, I don't know, maybe you marry one, right? Maybe you give birth to one. Your kids also okay when they grow to become a monster, whatever the case may be. Always give them, wish them well. Because toxic people who throw temper a lot, sometimes you need to sympathize with them. Because the temper is just a manifestation. Underlying that, there's usually fear. Seriously. Fear. Anxiety. People has these anxiety issues, has a lot of fear issues, are always angry. So I see some old folks, right? Wow. I befriended some old folks before, over the last few years. I can see bitterness. These people almost reaching the end of life. They are so bitter over petty issues. Really. Now, our session with petty issues, our bickering with our spouse, right, doesn't make sense. Do you agree with me? It only makes sense in the life of eternity. Am I right? So anybody think he's living a life of eternity here? This is my one and only life. I'm going to live forever and ever. But if that's the case, bickering with your spouse is important. Being obsessed with petty issue is important because I'm going to live forever. But we know we are not going to be here. I don't know how many rounds we're going to go through that. So we better wise up. Okay with that? So sometimes I sympathize with toxic people. Because sometimes they're not aware also. Okay, wait.
Okay, any last chance for question?
They say burning questions. Don't burning questions. Okay.
All right.
So just riding on what you have just said, how to live together with these toxic people, how to handle them.
Actually, there's no easy solutions. Importantly, is actually metta. You got to have that compassion. All right. As I mentioned, I befriended some of the old folks, and I was pretty surprised. Very surprised. Some of the old folks that I befriend with, they are totally disconnected with their children. Totally disconnected. They stay in the same household, but totally socially disconnected. They cannot talk. Every time they talk, quarrel only. So I got to keep on pacifying the old man, right? The one that I befriend. All right. In particular case, there was this man who actually has a daughter. The daughter not supporting him, staying together in a household. He still got to pay expenses. How expensive? He's 84 years old now. So I tried my best to find some financial aids for him and things like that. And the officer even came to our house and said, "Hey, but your daughter is working there." So it's kind of very difficult to articulate. Your daughter working, not supporting. It's very difficult to articulate. I also don't know why. So I tell this elderly guy, all right, let go. Now, just like I mentioned, let go. Now, of course, you're better at letting go. Because sometimes you let go of expectation, right? It's much easier. Letting go is not giving up. It's not giving up. Giving up is like you're restricting your potential. No? Letting go is expanding. When you let go, there's possibility for new relationship to establish. So I explained to this gentleman, 放下, let go. 怎么样放下? How to let go? No expectation. I don't know why your daughter's like that. Maybe in the past it was something very bitter. Maybe you have caused her to be like this. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Right? And you also don't know. And your daughter, you cannot communicate. Who knows? Your wife doesn't know also. Let go. When you let go of expectation, your daughter should behave in a certain way. It's so much easier on yourself. All right? So for toxic people, sympathize with them. They have their issues, usually because of fear and anxiety. If you can address the main cause, because the anger is a secondary emotion. The primary emotions are not addressed, you will continue to be very angry. And you can see very clearly, habitual one. It's underlying. Maybe you need help. I don't know. Maybe you can arrange for help. Get some expert. I'm not an expert. All right? Get people, all right, to help to address the underlying thing. Okay? And then if you happen to live with them, all right, always, we don't want to respond in an unskillful way. Always skillful way, caring. So it's a matter of how we frame ourselves. All right? I think it's important we frame it correctly. If you understand today's lessons, if you cannot understand today's lesson, at least you'll remember one thing. We don't respond to the external object. We respond to the thing inside. A lot of things is because of this. We respond and we act unskillfully. If you can realize that actually this is not us, I know, demonstrated through the images. There's no stink in the toilet. Please use it freely. But we think it's there. So notice, fusion has happened. Discard it, let go. Clear this? All right, and I hope that answers your question as well with toxic people. All right.
Thank you, Brother E. So that concludes the talk this morning. Shall we say sadhu 3 times to rejoice in this morning Dhamma talk? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next segment will be closing puja. In this closing puja, we will begin with the dedication of merits to all sentient beings. May they all rejoice like us in this morning to be able to discuss Dhamma and gain wisdom. We shall chant the Etavata. Ettavata ca amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya Ettavata ca amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampati siddhya Ettavata ca amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. Now with the joyous mind, let us call upon our departed relatives and our friends. May they all too rejoice in these merits. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Let us recite the end of service dedication. I dedicate the merits which I have accumulated to the cultivation of my mind in order to bring happiness and benefits to all sentient beings. I dedicate the merits to my parents, children, spouse, relatives, friends, colleagues, and my adversaries, wishing them long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity. May we never part from the triple gem, and may we always walk the path towards enlightenment. Let us now pay respect to the triple gem. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipano Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Alright, everyone, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, a few announcements before we dismiss. Next Sunday, same timing, we will have Sunday talk by Bhante Santacito on the topic of the first sermon by the Buddha, Dhamma Cakkappavattana Sutta. This talk will be live on 3 streams here at BF West Centre, on Facebook, as well as on YouTube at 10:30 a.m. Yeah, so do join us next week with Bhante Santacito. And then towards the end of the month, on the 27th, we will also have a talk with Dr. Peter Mark on choosing one thought over another. Yeah, so the timing is also the same at 10:30, similar like today. We will have a session in the morning, 10:30 at BF West, and then the recording will be made available in the late afternoon. Now for BF Youth, we have a talk by Brother Joe on the topic of boundaries. So that will be happening on the Saturday, 2:30 to 4 p.m. on the 19th of September. Whereas for Indonesian service, Bhante Santacito will be the speaker on the overcoming dukkha through meditation next Sunday. Yeah, timing is at 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Okay. So the talk by Bante Santacito on the overcoming dukkha through meditation for the Indonesian service will be streamed via Zoom as well as YouTube. Right? So do join us online. And then registration is required so that we can contact the participants and give them the Zoom link. Whereas on the end of the month, 27th of September, Brother Luis will be leading us on the Indonesian Dhamma discussion, and this will be done via Zoom as well. So do register if you are keen. The last announcement will be on the Rahula Connects. This program is intended for lower primary and upper primary, and there will be 2 online meetings. For the lower primary, it will be at 10:30 next week, 20th of September. Whereas for the upper primary, will be the week after next, 27 September. So both sessions will be conducted via Zoom. And you can refer to our website at BuddhistFellowship.org or our Facebook page to gain more details, as well as the links to all our events online. All right, so that ends our announcement. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.